my name's Kerry. I'm the CEO and founder of KLB Financial Management. I'm also known as the Chatty Bean Counter. This is our first series and this is our first podcast. And with me today, I've got joining me Al Hughes. And rather than me introduce you, Al, would you like to introduce yourself?
Brilliant. Hi, Kerry.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome.
I've been pretty excited about this, to be honest. Well, you know that because I've told you 100 times. I think it's really great to be here because I know that what you're trying to do is make accountancy something that's really relatable and exciting for people and drag it into this century, you know. So I'm really proud to be on your show. Thanks for having me. I guess, who am I? I've just recently started up a new business called Hype Podcast Studios, which coincidentally happens to be the business that's filming your podcast, which is great, and very grateful for your business. And I guess the thing that's exciting me about this conversation is I know you're going to go into lots of stuff about how to survive a startup generally, but financially as well, which I know that I've found really useful so far in terms of the support you've given me. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
I want the podcast series to be about me being visible to our clients and our public, so people can learn a bit more about me, a bit more about the business, and a bit more about our clients, and how running a business or accountancy in general can be a headache, but also help businesses thrive.
Yeah, because accountancy is almost one of those thankless tasks, isn't it?
It can be,
isn't it? There's a lot of jobs like that. I mean, I've worked in some jobs which have felt like massively thankless tasks, to be honest. But I think accountancy is one of those invisible heroes because the fact is, and I've experienced this with you recently. When you have somebody with your skill set who takes away the worry and the pressure, I'm rubbish with my personal finances. I'm rubbish at it. I'm great at, I can build you a great strategy for business. I can build great work cultures and I can run a really great video production company. But if you put a spreadsheet in front of me with personal finances and say, do your accounts, do your end of year accounts, you know, mark up your receipts, I get so lost and it's just not me. So the support that it gives, I think the difference it makes, and the thing that you might not necessarily even consider, the difference it makes to me on a human level, and if it makes a difference to me, I am so confident it makes a difference to everybody you help. It takes away that stress and lets me focus on my business. It really does. It makes such a difference. But as an accountant, I'm guessing it's a pretty thankless task. How many people a day or a week come to you and say, Kerry, I just wanted to say you do a great job. Thanks very much.
Quite fortunate that we've got very loyal and
so you do hear that.
clients. We do, and we've got good reputation. We get lots of referrals, and quite proud of that. I'm quite proud of where the business has come to. Yeah. In the since it's been in operation, and we want to be able to give back. We do give back to our community. Yeah. Some of the clients that we work with, we'll go above and beyond to try and make things happen. Yeah. But running a business is difficult, and those that work for themselves, as you know yourself, you've probably not worked as hard in your life than you have when you was employed. Yeah. And we appreciate that, and we want people to be able to come to us and say, Kerry, you know, one of the team to just say, we've got this question, and there are no daft questions. I want to understand, as a new business owner, it can be quite daunting. And I will do another podcast at some point about what it is, what's entailed with setting up a business, because there's just not enough information out there.
There's not. You're right.
New business owners.
You know, I think you're right. And getting to the point where you feel that you've got the bandwidth just to deal with the numbers and the figures and the money, because you're so frantically busy setting the business up. I mean, you saw me setting this business up from scratch. I mean, this studio was an empty box, and I'm really, really, really super proud of what I've done with it. But that took day and night for weeks and weeks, a couple of months. Yeah. Literally day and night, and try to find myself focusing on numbers and finances and stuff. I just couldn't find the time. But it's so critically important because if you don't get that bit right, everything else you build up falls over, right? Yeah. You operate quite differently to most accountants that I've ever met in my life.
We try to.
It's just such a relaxed approach, but still really tight and professional.
Yeah, we're proud of ourselves on that relationship we've got with our clients. the whole podcast series that we've got is about us looking forward, about accountants doing things differently.
Yeah.
We're unfortunate in a way that we work in a sector where many people can call themselves an accountant and they're not.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to articulate what our skill set is, what value we can bring to a business. And I think that's probably what's differentiated us between other accountants in the past is it's not about filing a tax return, doing the VAT returns. They come part and parcel. It's about helping the business. Where do you want to be in 5-10 years' time?
Do you mean helping your client's business?
Yeah. We do that from the outset. Where do they want to be? The compliance stuff, which is that's what we call it, compliance, is filing your tax returns, paying your tax bills, filing on time. We call that compliance work. So much more than that.
So I had done a podcast last week with a woman in business called Katie Forsyth, and she is, to my estimation and to many other people's, probably the cleverest, most skilled and most impactful leader in the recruitment space within contact centres. It's incredible what she's achieved. And in our podcast, we were talking about how people in the workplace are kind of overlooked in contact centres, and especially by the leadership. And there was a phrase used which kind of it's kind of similar to what you've just said. And we said together, it's very important that the leadership in contact centres sees beyond the spreadsheet and beyond the bottom line, and actually sees the human beings and their people. And when they understand their people in that way, they'll actually be able to build better relationships and get more out of them.
Absolutely.
I think that's what you do, because it's what certainly my experience with you has been that you look beyond the client.
Yeah.
And this wasn't just another transactional thing where you were doing returns and managing. You actually really get to know the human beings that are inside your clients.
That's what we're there for.
Yeah.
We're there to make your life easier.
Yeah.
Our clients' life easier, and help you achieve those goals that you set for yourself, and why somebody comes to work for themselves in the first place.
And it's such a difference maker.
Yeah.
You know, it is. You can ask my wife, who you know, right?
We do,
Claire. And I said, you know, when I first signed up and we had that first couple of conversations and you got me set up on a few things, we hadn't really done much with my finances.
That's right.
But I went home that night and said, it's amazing. It's like a weight's been lifted. You know.
You don't remember you saying that?
Many years ago, I was in quite a bit of debt. And it was for a number of reasons. You know, I had, Claire and I couldn't have kids. So we'd done IVF a few times and it was very expensive. And apart from being pretty traumatic for both of us, but especially Claire, but I got myself in a lot of debt in the process as a result, and there were other reasons for that as well. And I remember when I finally said one day, I'm going to sort this, and over the space of time, I cleared my last penny of debt. And I remember turning to Claire and said, my God, it actually feels like somebody's lifted a lead weight off my back. That's what it felt like almost when it felt like the worry and the stress about having to manage my finances while I'm trying to do a startup, and I'm trying to garner a client base, and I'm trying to put myself out there as a brand, all this other stuff that's keeping me awake at night. The fact that Kerry stepped in and done this the way she's done it for me, it felt like a lead weight being lifted off my back, and that's genuinely the end. And so when I say the invisible power of an accountant, the things that you don't maybe see, that's the impact it has, certainly on me on a human level, you know.
I do try to put that personal touch for what we do. You know, like you say, we try to build those relationships, provide a good customer service. You can pick up the phone to us morning and night, and ask questions. You know, we'll be there.
Any questions? What's the meaning of life? What's the lottery numbers next week?
Might not be able to tell you that. But pretty much we get asked lots of different things.
If you can tell me the lottery numbers for next week, you've got a friend for life.
We wouldn't be sitting here if we knew that.
Neither of us. We'd be talking to each other from our own private islands.
Sounds like a good idea.
That sounds like a great plan.
Someone was saying a networking group not too long ago, like, what's your sales pitch? What do you do that? And I was thinking, that's really hard as an accountant. What can that be? And I was speaking to somebody who was a bit cheesy, but they were like, so you're a problem solver. you solve problems. And I was like, well, yeah, we do to some degree. But we're also an enabler. We help. So how to get to A to B. That's what...
I think you're downplaying that a bit.
I feel like I have done a little bit. But
I think you have, because enabler is a great word for you.
Enabler is because, yeah, I agree with that word. I like that word.
Enabling is a great word to explain it.
Like you've got a creative mind. I take my hat off to you because I don't have that in me. I don't have that creative foresight to be able to create something. You created this wonderful podcast space. People with a creative mind, I take my hat off to. But
yeah, I would. Thank you. Thanks very much. Blush. But I actually think that you're very creative in your space, because earlier on we talked about what's the difference between you and other accountants. I'm sure there's other people like you out there.
There are.
But I think the way that you approach accountancy and financial management is pretty creative. That's how it feels to me.
I wanted to go back a little bit about you and your business and how you come to set up Hype Podcast Studios.
Where did it come from?
Yeah.
How long have you got? Jeez. So a potted history of me is way back in the day, way back in a previous life, in my late teens, early 20s. I was trained and sort of went through a whole series of events in terms of becoming an actor and working in the performing arts.
Oh, right, okay.
And then I went to the States after my mother died, and kind of wandered away from that as a vision for me, as a career path. Stumbled into a career in the cruise industry. Met Claire, my wife, in 1996 on the ship, and here we are still together. And then when I came back to the UK, I got involved in the customer industry, in contact centres. And that's an industry which is, for me, full of some of the most prolifically skilled people, amazingly skilled people, stunning environments, and just some of the smartest, cleverest people in tech that I've ever worked with. So it gave me a real grounding. And part of that process for me was about how do you get the best out of your work culture, your people, and then help them, because of that, give great service to your customers. And I very quickly discovered, even before it was fashionable, I discovered that video had a power. And rather than send somebody 20 stuffy emails with goals on them and expectations or a memo, it was better to sit and either talk to somebody face-to-face or let them enjoy video, because people remember 80% of what they see and 20% of what they read and hear. And that's very true. So the visual thing about video became very important to me. Fast forward a good number of years, I started to weave it into my strategies. So when I was working as a director or a head of department for whatever brand, I would build in video to some degree in the content as part of the communication solution strategy for the business, enabling people to want to watch it much more than they would want to read an email. I think email's dead. And I think the email culture should be banned, to be honest. And then I was over in South Africa working this year, and I was over there, and I'd done this great piece of work for a client, and we essentially set up a video solution, a whole podcasting studio, a whole philosophy around it, and it made an incredible difference and continues to. People buying into their goals, understanding how to sell properly, understanding how to do lots of things much more because they were watching video than reading an email. And I was on the flight on the way back home just this year, and I said, why am I doing this for other people? Why am I doing this for other people? I've got a creative background from way back in the day. I've been doing this for years in terms of doing it as part of my strategic work. And I'm a geek with it, because when I'm at home, I do it. I play with video, I edit, I create, graphic art and all that sort of stuff. I thought, what am I doing? It's taken me a long time. It took me to the ripe age of 57 to realise, actually, I should have done this years ago. Oh. And then I came here, took the space. I had this image in my mind about what it needed to look like and how I could do it differently, and set this up. And I think the thing that differentiates me like you've just talked about how you differentiate yourself. The thing that differentiates me from my sector is there's two things. One, the cost of what I do. I've deliberately priced myself as the lowest price professional studio standard podcast and video production studio in the UK. Deliberately done that. And some people think I'm mad because they're like, well, commercially you're not going to make a fortune. I don't want to make a fortune. I just want to make enough money to get by, have some savings, and do good work by other people and help them succeed. And I think this is the second thing that differentiates me. It's the same as what you've done. The relationships I have with my clients are fantastic. I will go 10 extra miles. I'll throw in freebies and do extra work for them and stuff, because the point of this is to help people grow and be successful. But that's how I went from A to B. And by the way, before I was, in drama and stuff, way back in the day, before I started that story, I've worked in a morgue, I've worked in a factory, I've stacked shelves in a warehouse, I've done loads of other stuff. But working in a morgue was interesting. Yeah.
Was it? I'd like to do something like that. I don't
work in a morgue.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible, terrifying. There was I wasn't prepared for it. And my mother had only died about 3 months before.
Oh, right.
So I was so blinded by just being numb, I think, that I didn't even give this any consideration. But I took the job as a porter in the Royal Infirmary Hospital in Glasgow.
Oh, wow.
And my boss sent me down with what they called the biscuit tin. So when somebody passes away in intensive care, they wrap the body up, and that was my job as well, to wrap the body up in cloth and sheets, tape it, and then you lift the body up, you and another porter, and you put it in what's called the biscuit tin, or what we call the biscuit tin. It's a big tin rectangular box with a huge big lid. It's essentially a tin coffin.
Yeah.
On wheels. Like, when somebody gets moved between wards, they go on a bed on wheels. It's a bed on wheels, but with a dead person in a box. And he said, take it down to the morgue. And he showed me previously how to label things. And I took it down. And we opened the biscuit tin. And the guy that was with me, they set this up deliberately. The guy that was with me said, I'll be back in 5 minutes, got to go to the toilet. And I'm standing there. I labelled this body and opened the biscuit tin. And what nobody told me was bodily fluids are released when somebody dies. And this body moved.
Oh, my
and
God.
made a groaning noise.
Oh, my God.
It kind of went... and I ran like...
Now, that had been my first and last day.
It was all very almost my first and last day. But I was taking I took that job to save the money to get to America, to get to cruise ships, to get a flight ticket, because it was all sort of hand to mouth back then, money wise. So I'm grateful for the money, and it got me, because it got me to America, and I met my wife, and everything else I've talked about happened. But that was an interesting job, working in a morgue. Weird. I'd not thought about that for years.
We've been thinking about doing a podcast series for quite a while now, and just never done it, never bit the bullet. So when you moved in next door to our office and we were having our conversations about your setup, I was like, I need to bite the bullet now and work with Al to do our series. And, and I'm really grateful, because here we are now.
I think it's great. And you, like I said, I've got choices, and there have been a couple of conversations I have with people who wanted to do podcasts that I've said no to. Fact, right? Yeah. Because I don't necessarily believe in what they're trying to achieve. When you talked about what you wanted to do with your customers and how you wanted to kind of almost revolutionise how I think become a personality within your brand, within your industry.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing about your vision about transforming how people see accountancy and making it a bit more fun, a bit sexy, a bit more interesting, a bit more engaging, something that really attracts people. Well, hats off to you, because you're dealing with an industry which is hundreds of years old and has never been those things. But you are the person to transform it. So when you said, this is what I want to do and this is what I want to do with the podcast, I was on board in seconds.
Yeah.
The right person, the right voice, the right experience, the right vision, and I'm in, and you've got all of those things. So it's actually me that's excited to be here.
Oh, don't be daft.
No, I'm serious. I think genuinely, it's when somebody has that kind of revolutionary creative mindset about wanting to do something different in the space. I talked earlier about Katie Forsyth, the recruitment.
I watched that podcast. It was really, really good.
Katie's the same. She in the recruitment space, she kind of revolutionised recruitment in the contact center industry. The energy and the vision and the creativity and all that stuff was was really impactful, and I think that's you.
But like you say, that brand is important to me. I've been the face of KLB for quite a while, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do without the people that support me.
Michelle.
She's
amazing.
She is.
Hilarious.
She is, and we'll have her on one of the podcasts coming
up.
So
Michelle, just for these guys, Michelle works for you.
She does, yeah.
She's one of your employees.
Yeah. Me and Michelle have known each other since we were teens.
She brings a lot to the table.
She does.
In terms of personality for the brand.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
She does. No, she's
mad as a box of frogs.
She's got a great laugh on her.
The both of you do. She
makes a really good cup of tea.
I'm sure she's got deeper skills than that. She'll kill you for that.
No, she does. She's got very good skills. And
yes, Michelle she adds so much value to my brand. She makes a great cup of tea.
No, she does. She doesn't sing her praises enough. She always says, "Oh, I'm holding like I'm not good enough," but she is, and she's come a long way since we've been working together.
But you've brought that out in her as well. I think you're a great team.
We both have. We've complemented each other really well. And you'd think it would be unusual for friends to work together, or it would be a bit awkward.
Oh, you friends before?
Yeah, we have been. I wanted someone to work with me who I could trust. And I reached out to my friends. Michelle was fortunate in the position that she wanted a change and was helping me out on a part-time basis, but I said it could quickly turn into a full-time job. And that was probably just over nearly 5 years.
It's great when it works like that, isn't it?
Actually.
The difference you probably made to each other then is incredible.
Yeah.
Security you've given each other. You see her every day,
yes.
But you don't see much of her every day, do you?
No.
Because I discovered something the other day, which is I was telling Claire about it. I'm still laughing about it.
It is funny.
So can I tell them?
Yeah, you can tell people.
So, I discovered the other day that in Kerry's office, so you've got Kerry sitting here with her computer facing a screen.
Two
monitors, like that, yeah. And you've got Michelle on the other side with 2 monitors, facing each other, but with 2 monitors. So they realised they couldn't see each other, and they pulled the monitors apart by that much. And so Kerry talks to Michelle, and Michelle talks to Kerry through a 3-inch gap all day. And it's really funny, because that's what you see. Like, Kerry, do you want a cup of tea? Oh, yes, thanks very much, Michelle. You make a great cup of tea, Michelle. Through a little gap. Cracked me up. I just thought that was so funny. It is. Absolutely hilarious. Great team, though.
It is. We work really well. And we're looking to grow the team. My husband, Mike, he's the operations director. We often get him involved, but he doesn't necessarily want to. But he does help out, and without both their helps, I'd be lost without them.
No, that's really cool. And your Chatty Bean Counter name for the podcast, yes. I love it.
No,
absolutely love it. Doesn't that also say that you're not taking yourself too seriously either? And that's why you're different. Because most accountants wouldn't call it the Chatty Bean Counter, would they? They'd call it something else, much more formal. But I think that even the name of this podcast says something about how much fun you're trying to bring to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't want it to be formal. I want people to feel they can come and approach us, and I don't want it to be as formal. I don't want to sit and do videos or send emails that are dictating or providing information like the budget. The budget's going to be released, and we'd normally do like an email circulation or a Facebook post about what the key changes are, and then if it was impacting on some of our clients in particular, I would reach out to them. But it's information and it's blurb that people don't necessarily understand. There's lots of changes that are going to be happening in April for people who are self-employed, and I feel like the information's not necessarily being out there, even though it's a big shift in how tax is going to be.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, that's it.
So there you go.
It'll be another episode of our podcast, Amy, so you will get to learn about it, and I'll detail of how it would impact you if it does impact on you. It won't actually impact on you.
Okay, great. That's good news.
But it will on some of our clients, and it'll be a big shift. So it's easier to put that detail in a podcast, I think.
So what's the overall ambition for it then as a podcast? What you for the people that it helps? How's it going to help people? What's the score?
I want it to help a multitude of people, individuals, businesses, women, men.
You're doing a big women in business.
We're going to do a women in business
episode.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Looking forward to that. That'll be later on in the series, episode 3, 4. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but I'm excited about that.
You're bringing 4 really incredible women round the table.
If you include me as an incredible
You are an incredible woman. You're all. I know who's coming, and you're all incredible people.
Yeah.
Strong women in business. And that's going to be a great conversation.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
It's going to be great.
And I'm not one of these people that champion women's things. I just think give the job to the best the person who can do the job the best.
It's not about sex or colour.
No, absolutely. It never is with me.
So it's not a DEI-led thing. It's about, are you competent?
But this is, being a woman who's menopausal has come with its challenges.
Yeah.
And I've found, and how it's impacted me personally, menopause. And I don't want the podcast to be about menopause, but it's about it'll be part of the subject.
Yeah.
Is, women around the table will be in that stage of life where it's menopausal and how it impacts on
and how
business, relationships,
everything.
How
are you treated when you go through the menopause as well?
Yeah.
I remember years ago, and even before I became, I consider myself quite educated around the menopause now, because I've seen my family go through it. My wife's gone through it now, but even before that, I had that enlightenment about it. I remember a couple of instances in work where men around the boardroom kind of laughing at, not about or with, laughing at some of the women who are clearly going through the menopause and needed support but didn't get it and didn't have it. I'm glad to see it's changing in the world. It feels like it's getting better in business, and it's something that people are more free to talk about now and feel more comfortable talking about. And men are becoming more educated, which is critically important about it. So then it becomes just a supportive relationship, part of the relationship, as opposed to something unusual or weird or scary for men. But it feels to me like it's got better in business. Still got a long way to go.
I do think it's still got a long way to go. I agree with you to some respect. I think more businesses, when they have menopause policies now, don't they? Lots of businesses, not enough businesses have these types of policies.
Should be mandated.
But I've worked in women-only businesses, where the women's leadership team, and all of us have been in that stage of life where we're going through the menopause, and it's hard.
Would that have been a challenging boardroom for me to walk into?
Yeah.
Get out.
No, I think my husband were a bit different. I was going to say I didn't come aggressive with it.
You might think differently. Yeah,
I think he'd say
you don't think you were aggressive with it. But it's amazing. Did you do HRT?
I dabbled with HRT. Right. I don't take anything, and I'm quite fortunate that some of my symptoms have subsided a bit, like the hot flushes and things like
Itchiness. Did you get that?
I did do.
Yeah.
They've eased off a bit. I've been looking at different types of alternative therapies type of thing, but
amazing, Kerry, how some women can go through it. There's cases where some women can go through it in a couple of years, and some women can go. It's 20 years.
Yeah.
It can last for a long time, and everything in between.
Yeah.
I've never understood that. I'd love to find more about why that is. Is it individual biology? I don't know. Why does it take so long for some women to go through the menopause?
I don't know. I really don't know. And I started mine early. My mum was early with hers.
How old were you when you started?
41.
That's quite early, isn't it?
Yeah. It was around between my 40th and my 41st birthday.
Mid-40s is the norm, isn't it?
It was. It's normally about 45, 46.
Yeah.
But not long after my 40th birthday, probably before actually, but I hadn't really noticed. But I remember my 41st birthday, we went out and I was having shocking flushes, and I'd have like my hair would all be wet at the back, and my clothes were
crazy. And they come on fast.
Yeah. And my husband would be saying, "You're having a flush, aren't you?" And he'd feel the heat coming from me. Yeah. And my friends would be looking at me, they'd say, "What's the matter?" And I'd be taking my jacket off, putting my jacket on. And it was just weird because nobody else was going through it and I was. And I looked in the mirror and I just didn't recognise myself.
That's crazy.
Even now, I just
Do you feel like a different person?
I do feel a different person.
Than before the menopause started?
The shell that I am now, like my body and what you see on camera here is different to what I look at in the camera. No, in the mirror. And
you mean physically or mentally?
Both.
You see yourself differently?
Yeah.
You think it's changed you as a person?
It has done. Yeah, it's a weird one.
That's interesting.
It is. It's very hard to articulate.
How? I've just heard you saying it's hard to articulate, but how has it changed you as a person? No, I don't mean physically. I mean in terms of just how you behave as a person. How has it changed you?
It knocks your confidence because you don't recognise. Yeah, you look in the mirror and you don't recognise who it is that's looking back at you. It's a very strange. Like I say, it's hard to articulate.
Your chemistry's changed. The way your confidence goes.
Yeah, you do. Your memory. Your
brain fog.
Yeah, brain fog's horrendous. Me and Michelle, we laugh about it, but it's a serious thing. I
must have been going through the menopause for 57 years, Kerry.
I think my husband would say the same.
Claire will tell you I'm the most forgetful person. Anybody will tell you.
Me and my husband are constantly saying to each other,
have you seen my glasses? Have you seen my watch?
You're like, don't know.
It's terrifying.
But it is. It's.
But I, that's interesting for me because I know that it's physically and chemically it's a very challenging period in a woman's life. But to know that actually it affects you on an internal, a mental level and how your character changes.
Day to day.
So interesting. I've learned there's a secret code. I've learned by watching Claire when it's time to shut up.
Yeah.
I've learned to know when to leave a room.
My husband to say.
It's really good. But being with someone going through it has, in a serious note, has taught me how to appreciate it, understand it, support it, learn from it, and actually it's made me understand it in the wider world a lot more as well.
Yeah.
You know, so but the great thing is 10 years ago a man and a woman wouldn't have been sitting having this conversation.
No.
Wouldn't they?
No, you're right.
It's been such a progressive few years.
Yeah.
And it's such a critical thing. So your Women in Business episode, I'm sure it'll get into this.
It will do, undoubtedly, because there'll be women around the table that are going through menopause, and I want to touch on it because it is taboo in some instances, and I just think as a business owner and women who have done really well for themselves, I'd like to know how it impacts on them. So I'm looking forward to that podcast.
And to get to the point of you're doing really well for yourself, carrying the weight of menopause.
Yeah.
It'd be like running a 100-mile sprint with a big ball and chain around your ankle, isn't it?
It feels like it.
But women do it. Women get through it. That's why women are better than men.
Yeah.
Women are better linear thinkers. They're stronger people, and they have sustainability. They last till the end of whatever they're trying to achieve. Yeah. Men are just like, those hoovers, the robotic hoovers you get now. It just fires about the room and bangs into things randomly until it gets the job done. I think that's men. We just go through life banging into things and we eventually get there, But I think women are much more logical, much more considered in how they do things and, and thoughtful about how they get there, But there you go. So that's going to be a great episode. I'm looking forward to that one.
So I'm a trustee of the Viking Sports Foundation.
Right. That's the sports foundation attached to the Widnes Vikings Rugby Club.
It is. And it's going to change its name. It's going to be called Widnes Vikings Foundation.
Awesome. That's such a good thing you're doing there.
It is. And I joined in about February, March time.
Oh, this year?
Yeah.
Oh, was it really? I thought you were much longer.
No. We've been involved in the club in some respects, and so has Michelle. Michelle's got a history with the club. And
this is crazy as a box of frogs, Michelle.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And we spoke about me joining a board to be able to help, like a local organisation.
Yeah.
And the foundation advertised for trustees, finance trustees in particular. And I've got a lot of experience and knowledge and of some wonderful things that I've achieved with charities over the years.
What is the foundation then? What is it? So it's the Widnes Vikings Rugby Club. They have a foundation arm. But what goes on there?
There's two entities that complement each other.
Right.
The Widnes Club, Vikings themselves, the club, as we call them, is everything from the first team and what goes on the pitch and being in, ideally, the Super League. That's our aim. And the foundations, everything that supports that, so all the community elements. So we've got a wheelchair team, learning disability team, golden generations. We're going to have a podcast on it. We're going to bring Simon Fox in, who's the foundation director, and talk about it, because doesn't have its own identity at the moment, but that's something that we're changing. We've got probably one of our longest clients, actually. Simon Nolan, he is the director and founder of EXP Northwest Limited.
I'm conscious of him. I'm also conscious of the fact that I need to send them some stuff so he can do a sign for me.
Simon, he's still owes you his email.
Simon, sorry, mate.
But Simon will come on, and it'll be interesting to talk to him because he's a solo director. He didn't set up the business on his own initially. He started with his brother, but unfortunately his brother passed away. And I want to draw from Simon, like what that's been like, having the business on his own and what challenges that he's had to overcome. Yeah. And really good guy, Simon. He's like I say, he's been with us for many years now. Came to us in a pickle with his accountancy. We sorted that out, and we've been able to help.
And the Chatty Bean Counter stepped in.
That's it. The Chatty Bean Counter's done exactly what she needs to do, and we've helped him with his business, reducing and managing his tax. His strategies of where he wants to be, so that he's getting a better quality of life. Yeah. So we'll have that conversation with Simon. That's another good podcast.
So it sounds like the season.
We've got some really good episodes coming up. Sounds
brilliant.
Yeah.
And I won't spoil it. You obviously it's your show, so I don't want to spoil it for you. But you're building up to a final episode, which I am dead excited about. I'm excited for the whole season, right? Because I think you've got this. Your podcast plan is incredible. It's going to be so engaging. But the Women in Business one stands out for me. It's something I'm so excited about. But the final episode that you're planning, I'm really excited about. The masterclass.
So that's going to be about. Well, there's quite a few little things in there, really, but it'll be an educational piece, but not too techie. I want it to lead from what people want, really. What types of questions do they ask? Do they want from their accountancy practice as well? So if anyone has any questions, comment below and we can build that into our future series. Brilliant. That'd be really interesting.
That's really cool.
I'm really pleased where the business is at the moment.
Good.
And I'm looking forward to just growing, just being different
within your sector. Yeah. I think you're well on that journey.
I hope so.
Well, the Chatty Bean Counter is going to take care of that.
The Chatty Bean Counter is part of it.
And it's true. It's so refreshing. It is so refreshing. And for me, I mean, I can't speak highly enough of you as a person. But as a person within your trade, it's very easy to say all the right things about you because they're true, and it ultimately at the end of the day comes down to how you see the people that you have as clients as important, as people, not just as clients. And that's evident in everything you do, and it's never forced. And like I say, I know I'm probably the same for other people, but it's one of the key reasons why I said, right, it's the Chatty Bean Counter for me, because that's a safe pair of hands,
Yeah.
That's how it feels.
I'm glad you feel that way.
I do feel that way, just for the record. No, thank you for having me on. I've really enjoyed it. And it's like I said, easy for me to get involved in something like this, because when you believe in what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to do in your industry is amazing. So I'm just dead excited by it, and I'm really grateful for you having me on as your first guest. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for making it nice and easy for me.
My pleasure.
My first podcast. Thank you, everybody. That's the end of our first podcast. Look forward to seeing you on the next.
Kerry, the Chatty Bean Counter. Kerry, the KLB founder. Kerry, no one can doubt her. Chatty Bean Counter. Kerry, the Chatty Bean Counter. Kerry, the KLB founder. Kerry, no one can doubt her. Chatty Bean Counter. Oh. Accounting with style, the KLB smile. The Chatty Bean Counter.